Hey there YouTube, I'm Yukitsu, this is the Yukitsu Times, welcome to my channel, and welcome to some Rimworld. So, yeah, I'm going to be doing a little bit of a guide for this, and I'm not going to start off with the hardest setting, or even the setting that I normally personally play, but we're going to basically start from the beginning, start it in such a way that's going to be relatively easy for you to get a hang of it, but also I want to make sure that it's a little bit challenging, because I think that a big part of this game is that sort of challenge, so we're not going to go on the easiest one, but in any event, let's take a look at what we need to do to start. If you haven't played this game before, you do need to do this create a world thing. I already have plenty of worlds created, but you know, this is all it does. It brings you up to this sort of map. It generates this map here. And this place has all the different starting locations. It shows you where, for example, the pirates are. It shows you where the tribal people are. And you know, that's not necessarily all that important of information. And virtually every map seed that you're going to get is going to have some distribution of terrain like this. It's going to include some tundra, it's going to include some boreal forest, it's going to include some temperate forest, desert, and then some arid shrubland. So, oh, and of course the tropical rainforest. So, all of them are going to have a mix of that, so it doesn't really actually matter what seed you actually have for this, because it's not going to be played out on that map. Once you go into New Colony, you have to select your difficulty. I mentioned this already. I'm going to be playing it on Cassandra Classic with Challenge. You can scale it back if you've been trying this and it's been too hard for you, but I'm going to try and show you how to play this and succeed on Challenge with Cassandra Classic, which is the sort of basic difficulty. Now, of course, next is Phoebe Base Builder. This is the easier one. You get attacked a lot less often, but you can make this more difficult by putting it on Extreme Challenge. Extreme Challenge Phoebe Base Builder is harder than Builder Mode Cassandra Classic, so there's that combination of things. If you want a challenge but don't want to have constant waves and don't want to be constantly dealing with that, Extreme Challenge Phoebe Base Builder can actually be quite interesting. And then of course there's this guy. I don't actually play this way, Randy Random. Like, there are just too many weird things that can happen that instantly kill you and you've got no real chance to respond to. Not exactly my cup of tea, not very fun, so that, in my opinion, you want to avoid that one. So we're going to go with Cassandra Classic on Challenge. If you're having a harder time with this, start off on Casual until you can sort of get down a few of the basics that I'm going to teach you. But everything that I'm going to tell you is going to make it relatively easy to survive at least a little while into Challenge. So we're going to go ahead and click here. Going to just select our top world here. It doesn't really matter which one you pick. So, what I'm going to teach you as well is the most basic one to start with. You can see I've actually got a couple of colonies in the seed already, but we're going to ignore that for now. But ultimately what we want to do is just find a nice temperate spot to start off our base. And what we're going to do is set it up in the mountains. This is again going to be the easiest sort of setup that I'm going to be showing you guys. I'm not going to be showing you the more difficult ones like desert yet. I'll do that in a different set of videos. For now, we're just going to be focusing on keeping it relatively simple, relatively easy. And for that, you want to be in the mountains, definitely. There's a big difference as to whether or not you're in the mountains or if you're somewhere else. One of the things you're going to want to note is the growing season and the differences in temperature. That can make a pretty profound difference to how you play the game. One of the other things is, of course, the type of stone there, but it's not really that important. Down here, I could get year-round farming, and it is nice temperature year-round. This would be a great place to start if I wanted it to be super easy, but I want it to be a little bit more challenging than that, so I'm going to go for somewhere like here. It's got a growing season of April to September, which is pretty reasonable. It's up in the mountains. I kind of want to be a little bit more in the middle of the mountains here, but yeah, that's fine. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and select the site. And the next thing is to customize our villagers just a little bit. The thing about this game is you can sometimes end up with groups of villagers that or colonists or whatever that are no good. Like, just don't do... Like, I might have, for example... Oh no, this guy can research. So sometimes you end up with big holes in your capability of doing anything functional. So, for example, it looks like none of my people can cook. This person is bad at a wide variety of generic things as well, so I might consider re-rolling that, and I might consider re-rolling a couple of these actually, but yeah, let's go ahead and do that. So we've got someone who can cook now. They're incapable of doing scary things, which is mostly just, primarily that's just fighting fires, but this will actually be okay. You can re-roll as many times as you like. I think that's a good idea to make sure that you've got colonists that you want, because you're going to be stuck with them for quite a while, hopefully. We've got some really good miners. We haven't really got anyone who's good. Nope. Preston's pretty good in a fight. Okay, that's fair. And Looks like Blair can punch people at least pretty okay, but I'd probably want to give the knife to Katia. So this is an okay group of people. I would potentially want to re-roll until I got even better ones, especially at research. Maybe someone who is good at research would be a good idea, but let's continue on with our generating the map. Okay, welcome back. So I forgot that my game crashes every time I start it up while I'm running fraps. So we've got 3 new colonists now, slightly different, which is unfortunate, but it is the way it happens to be. And we're just going to look across the map first of all to look for potential places to start up our little colony. Now, there's a couple reasons that I like mountainous maps, and you can see right off the bat that we've got a significant amount of cover here. We could find a lot of little areas that are covered up by choke points, and that makes it much easier for us to sort of have a base that is well defended, which is one of the things that we really want to go for. Now, one of the things that we could actually do is pile all the way around to here, wall off down here, and we're going to show you something that's important to note here. Okay, so this line here, we cannot build anything past this. So if we wanted to secure this area completely, we would have to build our wall off across here, which would be quite a large wall off. And that's not going to actually be that bad, but it is going to be quite a journey to get there. Now, one of the things that I'm going to do, because it is so far off of where I want to settle, and there is good reason to settle in this area. There's a pre-made little house here. There's plenty of resources, including silver ore, and there's also this steam geyser right in there. It's also completely covered off. I don't have any threat of people going in here except through this area down here, which is where I'm going to put my wall off. There's also compacted plasteel. So this place is filled with actually great resources. So this is where we're going to go ahead and put down our first, our colony and build our base up here. So we're going to go ahead and see where our guys land. These are 3 different people than what we remember, so let's go ahead and look at our characters and find out who's good with a gun here. You're not good with a gun, you're not good with a gun, you are okay with a gun, so we're going to have you equip the Lee Enfield. You're not terrible with a gun, but you are terrible with melee, so you're going to get the pistol, and you are going to get the knife. So what we want to do is make sure that we can access our medicine and our little ration packages, or whatever you want to call them. We're not going to worry about all this stuff just yet. We're going to worry about those later. And we're going to unforbid those as well. But right now, what we want to do is right away start running our guys all the way down here. There's tons of ration packages down here as well, actually. But we're going to start building our house down in this area. And this is going to become a pretty decent area for us to hole up and build our buildings. So when you're in these mountainous maps like this, keep a keen eye out for wherever you can go that's completely encased away from wherever the enemy is going to be spawning, and which has access to one of these steam geysers. You don't always get those, but you know, it's a good idea if you can get that, and you want to make sure that this is contiguous. If there's a little break in here, if there's a little sort of looping path that can let them through there, that's not a very good spot to set up, because what's going to happen is the enemies are just going to pile through there, and that's going to be the end of you. So we're going to go ahead and take advantage of some of the pre-existing stuff here. So we've got a steel wall already here, which is really nice. So we're going to take advantage of that. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 tiles long. So with the 9 tile long one, I don't quite want to use the whole thing right now, but we'll go with 3, 3, and then 3, 2, 3, and then about there. The reason is that I want to make this about a 6x6 interior room. We're going to go ahead and also assign a door to that, but this means that I'm saving a little bit on space as far, or materials, because I don't have to build that wall. Now, I want to make sure that I'm getting this the right size here as well. Okay. And there we go. So that's going to be our basic housing area. For this, we're going to, of course, need wood. So one of the first orders for resources that you're going to want to do is to get all this wood here. Now, normally, I would have my wood resources up here set so that I could go run and get them. But in this particular case, I'm not going to do that. I am, however, going to tell everybody that they should be working on plant cutting. We've got one person who can't do construction, and one person who's good at construction. So I'm going to tell a person who's good at construction to ignore plant cutting and tell our person who's really bad at construction to not construct. That way we're getting the most out of that sort of stuff there. So they've all grabbed up their weapons and all that other good stuff, which is good for us. We're going to work on getting those meals probably stored pretty soon, but that's not a huge deal. And once we've gotten some of these trees done up, we'll be able to start working on construction. You can see that he's doing sort of construction in little sprints there. Let's see what Keisuke can also do here. Okay, we're going to have Keisuke, he's already our only miner, that is very good. So we're going to need a little bit of metal down here as well. So we're going to get a mining order for him down there. And we're also going to assign our furniture. So early on, what you really want to be focusing on is just making sure that you've got 3 solid rooms for your colonists, and that's all you really need to worry about for a little bit. Once you've got that going, should be relatively okay for a little bit, but you should be able to get this accomplished in a day or 2. Now then, Bray, I'm going to actually tell you to not construct. I just want to get a lot of wood cut, and once that's done, I'm going to cancel this mining, because we've got quite a lot of wood now, so he should be able to finish off a lot more of the building. So focus on your, make sure your priorities are set for your colonists properly. It just falls asleep right there. You don't have to worry too much about these negatives here. So for example, these people are tired because their beds aren't built yet, because the only person who can build beds went to sleep, so we're going to go ahead and let Bray build her bed and then she'll go to sleep. Huh, she didn't actually. Okay, well, apparently she's just an insomniac. But anyway, we're getting this all built. Once these all get finished off, that's fine. We're pretty much set for the very early on things. So now that that's done, we want to have a prison room. Normally, I would just make this part of the apartment complex that I've got built here. But in this particular case, what we're going to do is we're going to fill in some of the holes that we've got in this little building over here, and we're going to put in a wooden bed over here. To complete this, we're also going to use the orders to claim this building. So we need to claim that so that we can properly interact with it. I need to go to structure, and then we'll put a door there. So this is going to be our little jail room. It's going to be part of the natural environment. It's got like weird wood and stone walls, but whatever. That works perfectly fine for what we're doing here. So once we've gotten these 4 rooms set up, we're pretty much set as far as that goes. What we want to do now is make sure that we've got a place for our food all set up here. So what we want to do is make sure that we've got a growing zone that's going to be used for our farms, but then we want to have that connected to a sort of kitchen-y area where people are going to eat. And what we typically want is for our kitchen-y area where people are going to eat to be over here, right in front of where people are living. Now, I kind of get the feeling like I want another row of houses over here. So what we're going to do is measure this out. So this is where these are going to go to. This is going to be a 6x6 sort of housing complex. I'm going to have to put doors on the other side here, but I do also want them to be able to go through that way, so that's fine. But this means that we can put our kitchen about here. So this is going to be a sort of mixed dining room sort of area and a lot of other things combined. We can make this quite a large building. We can incorporate this building into it to save us on resources. Whenever you get a chance to, make sure that you're sort of incorporating buildings side by side like that. But by doing this, we can sort of have this building blocked off and have everything planned. What we want in this sort of area here, I'm going to put it here, I think, is just a basic room with our furniture spacing. We want to make sure that we can fit our tables in here. So we're going to go ahead and measure that. We're going to want at least that much space there. And then we're a little bit short on size here. So what we can do is go ahead and delete this bit of wall structure and just go like this. And this will actually work out fine. What we need to then do, just add a door there and add a door here. This is going to be our kitchen access. We don't actually want to build these yet. We just wanted to figure out our spacing a little bit. And this is going to, as you can see, work just a little bit better for us. We're going to be able to do a little bit more tables. And we don't need to actually have this completely filled out or anything or perfectly, but you know, that'll do. I just want to be able to fit 3 tables in there at least, because I've had as many as 20 people in a village. I might as well have it set and ready for that size of building. Next up, we want to make sure we've got a kitchen. We want to be about... Don't have to be quite that big. I think here would be fine. What we want to make sure is that it fits butcher table. And again, we're not actually building these yet, but we want to be able to fit 3 cook stoves in here. So you can see that we have plenty of room for that. So going to go ahead and cancel these as well. And we're going to go ahead and make sure that we've got another door. This is going to be our walk-in fridge area. And we're going to have access to where we're going to have some of our crops, which is going to be up here. So what we want to make sure we're doing when we're building our kitchen area is we want to make sure that we've got direct access from our growing fields straight into the refrigerator, straight into the kitchen, straight into the dining room, in that order. And we want to make sure that people can easily access the dining room from their living area. So we're going to go ahead and let that happen. We're going to start growing our, putting down our stockpile already. This one is going to be only for food, so we're going to not allow rotten. And we're not going to allow any of these other resources except for corpses, which are just going to be animal corpses. So there we go. Got the ability to refrigerate all the stuff that's going to spoil that we want to worry about. And we've got everything pretty nicely set up as far as that goes. So one of the things we're going to have to do, start chopping down more wood again. As you can see, we're out, in particular, chopping down the stuff that's in people's rooms and in front of people's houses is a good idea. So we're going to make sure that we get some of those. I forgot to delete that wall, but that's okay. And you can see that, like, it was we had a lot of missing growing material or building materials. As we chop down a couple trees, you know, that goes away. So we're perfectly fine as far as that goes. Once we finish this, what I'm going to do is actually start working on our farms. We're going to have a small one at first, just up here. It's going to be potatoes, which is perfectly acceptable. And this is going to be our early game setup. This is going to be just the few buildings and things that we need to have built right away, basically. What we're going to do is orders and claim this, because that was kind of something I needed. This room is going to be a little bit weird because it's going to have metal tile as the flooring, but it's going to be mixed with other types of flooring. That's fine, though. And now that we've gotten a fridge area, we should be actually seeing people trying to move some of these other meal packs into there, which is fine. We're going to go from normal to preferred here, or important, actually. All right. Kind of want to get rid of these plants that are right in front of this door here, but one of the ways that you can do that is you can actually order cut plants instead of whatever it was they had before. This is going to take a little bit more time, but that's fine. They're saying that we need defenses. We're not going to worry about that just yet because we don't have, like, the first attacker is going to be like one guy, and we're not too worried about that. So we're going to worry instead about getting our food up and running. We're going to need to get this wind turbine or a solar panel so that we can get working on our food. I prefer the wind turbine. It's a little bit more reliable. But once we've got that, we can start working on our production here of those butcher table and cooking stove that we had planned out earlier. I don't know if I've got this facing the right way. Okay, well, apparently it's being built, so let's hit cancel there. Butcher table. Okay, it was facing the right way, I think. Okay, well, whatever. Looks like we didn't mine quite enough metal there, so we're going to go ahead and hit mine. We're going to mine up a little bit more of this. And we're going to go ahead and mine a little bit more of that. So metal, only really a concern early on in the game. It's fairly easy to get later on, but it is definitely something that you need. We've got a visitor, that's nothing to be concerned about. Looks like I think our allies, or our friends here, have grabbed up some meals, which is good. Means that we're going to be able to have food, which is an important part of this colony. We've got 22, which is like 7 more days, so cargo pods. Okay, let's jump to location. That's in kind of a bad location, so we're going to ignore those for now. We have got these potatoes growing, so they're going to actually probably finish growing before we need any of the other stuff here. We're going to have to do some cabling, so let's get our electricity from here. Oh dear. That is some atrocious lag. Okay, let's figure out what's going on here for a second. Steam is trying to upload something, so that was slowing down everything pretty terribly for some reason. Alright, let's get this. Nope. Maybe it is Fraps. Well, it seems to be relatively okay now. I like how this person just visits, like, eats a meal inside someone's bedroom. It's just like, okay. Perfectly reasonable, just barge into someone's bedroom and eat a meal. Okay, we're gonna set this one for prisoner so I don't forget later, because that gets annoying otherwise. Oh, and here we have the first sort of disaster. Apparently it's a squirrel gone mad, so it's a squirrel that's gone mad with power. What's probably actually going to do is end up attacking... actually no, because this person's moving out of there. Okay, well, we kind of want to kill that squirrel, so what we're going to do is recruit this person, have them stand over here ready to intercept a squirrel, apparently. Actually, Keisuke was doing something nearby, so... Okay, so that was a good shot. Let's go ahead and unforbid that squirrel. Relatively easy, obviously very easy sort of encounter those squirrels. It's nothing to worry about. We're going to set up our bills. We're going to say cook fine meal indefinitely. That requires both meat and vegetables, so it doesn't actually happen immediately. You can't do it right off the bat. So we're going to have to make sure to get a good supply of different types of foods. It also requires 6 skill in culinary whatever, food cooking. That's the skill. So we're going to have to make sure that we can get to that. And what we're going to do here as well, furniture. Let's get a little bit of space. One of the things you can do if you have a bit of space is that you can also include decorations in here, which improves the look of it. I kind of screwed that up, actually. Oh well. You can put a third one in maybe like this or something. No, that's kind of awful, but oh well. Then what we want is a couple wood stools. We're just going to put 4 down here for now. And once we're done all of that, we've basically got this set up properly now. I'm going to go bills, add bill, butcher creature forever. Oops. And we don't want to call this room bill. We're going to call it Yukitsu. I haven't called anything that in a while, so we're going to call it that. Alright, and we're going to need, obviously, some more wood, but let's sort of look over what we got here. We've got a basic power source, which is quite important. We've gotten our kitchen set up, an eating area, which is good for morale, and we've got 3 fairly spacious rooms. If we look over at Keisuke, you know, he's got some good vibes here going on. He's got a spacious interior for his room. He's got his new colony optimism still, which is letting him go coast a little bit for a little longer, but... Actually, what are you equipped with? Knife? Okay, so we're not going to do that. One of the things we do have to do is kill this turtle. It is indoors, though. We're in a solar flare, so I've lost power to my whatever that is. But that's fine. Nothing I can do about it, really. Alright, but what we're going to have to do is have somebody go in there and kill that turtle. So we're going to have Bray over here standing in this corner and fire at that turtle. Oh. You guys are such idiots sometimes. Runs right in front of the line of fire. Okay, so you, let's undo that. And the reason I'm doing this is because, like, that turtle is just gonna sort of sit in our food area, but I don't really like animals running around inside the house. It's just a thing. Anyway, I also don't like when people run in front of bullets, though, so, you know, can't always get what you want. Alright, so how bad is this? Okay, it's just, he got shot in the elbow. Okay. So he's got a vicious case of tennis elbow. Fantastic. Okay, so now that we're actually putting stuff in there, though, let's go ahead and put our temperature control in there, or whatever that is, and have our people go ahead and do whatever it is that needs to be done. It'd be lovely if someone could come back and get some medicine here. Apparently I am being messaged via Steam, but we don't have time for that right now. Okay, so Keisuke has a bit of a risk here. He's got that gunshot. What we're going to do is change this to colonist and set it as medical, because that otherwise is going to be real annoying for me. Fortunately, this is a non-Steam game, so I don't have to worry at all about the person who's messaging me on Steam. It doesn't have that pop-up. It just has that annoying beeping that I forgot to turn off. Oh well. Well, I think someone has run off to get the medicine for our friend Keisuke here, which is going to prevent infection, potentially. Hopefully. But at the same time, we want to keep chopping down as many trees as possible, because next up, we're going to wood panel all of our floors. And the wood paneling is quite good for this. It is, you know, pretty decent stuff. It looks nicer. People will be happier living near it. Let's see here. He had good quality care, so let's check. If we go to his health, both of those are bandaged up. Those are going to be fixed up right quick, so nothing too worry about there. We got some peaceful villagers visiting us. That's fine. Excuse me. But more importantly, we've got our colony sort of up and running. So this is the basic stuff that you want to do. The reason, again, that we're doing the wood paneling is that, like, normally what they'll have is the idea that their room is ugly if they've got these dirt floors or whatever like that. So you want to have, like, everything be wood floors. It just looks better for the colonists. So they'll be a little bit happier, they'll be less prone to going into mental breakdowns, which becomes quite important later on into the game. So, anyway, this actually is about where I should call the first episode here, because I have food cooking. But we've gotten quite a bit done. So for now, I hope you found this episode enjoyable. We'll be getting into the next one pretty soon. It'll be about basic defense and research and fiddly things like that. But I hope you found this episode enjoyable, and of course, as always, I hope to see you all next time.